Okay, here we are again. Hello, Marco. So let's give it a moment to
Sure.
people to join. We have around 50 registrations. So let's
Okay.
see whose people start joining. Hello, whoever is there, welcome. Good morning.
Morning.
Give a few minutes. I know that we are super tight in time, so let's give at least 5 to 10 minutes for people to join. And if not, I will have enough. I have enough questions and a lot of things to talk to you that later on are going to be on their replay.
Okay.
So
Gotta be careful what I say.
it will be available for everyone.
No worries.
Exactly, to
Okay.
see it and to enjoy it at the same time. In the meantime, whoever is joining, we would like to say hello. I'm Sorry Bell from Punta Cana Wellness, and that's Marco Lima for MRA Advisory. So who are you? Where are you? We'd like to know. So
Absolutely.
you
No, thanks for the opportunity. It's great to be with you today. MRA Advisory. So I help lead the firm. We are a boutique financial services firm based out of New Jersey. And in every sense of the word, we work with clients and to simplify their financial lives. And we like to say we're a generational firm in a sense that we help individuals who are, starting, baby, Generation X, Y, baby boomers, and offering them several services based on their needs, whether it is hiring us as a financial coach, if you will, or financial wellness, which is the topic today, on the personal level or on the business level. And the job there is to help you see, build a plan for you and deliver on that plan that you build using our professional intellectual capital. So that's really kind of the core of what we do. And then with that, we have supporting services and wealth management, tax preparation and planning, insurance, estate planning, and so on and so forth. But the main job is to help folks do better and help them achieve their financial goals.
when you said our theme today is about financial wellness. Sometimes people understand that you have to like have certain amount of income to really reach that financial wellness.
Right.
The real financial wellness, the way that I see it, is that it's part of one of those dimensions that wellness evaluates in your life, like you really want to reach. I mean, you have your health, you have your nourishment, which is food, you
Mm-hmm.
have also mobility and fitness, and then you have one that is very important, is mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you have peace of mind, real peace of mind? I mean, yes, you have to be in good health, your family has to be good, and everything has to be like in harmony. But if your finances are not in harmony, there's no peace of mind. I mean, let's be realistic.
That's right. Yeah.
So
So, yep. And money is,
financial.
quite frankly, money is an emotional thing, and most people don't think. You even we
Oh, I
start working
totally
with
believe it.
clients.
I'm getting to understand that myself. I've been 45 years old, and I'm saying like, oh my God, I've been so emotional all my life about this topic. And I never realized it, like how much my emotions dictate where my money goes.
That's correct. That's correct. And then working with somebody, a financial professional, it's coming from an outside point of view, and kind of going down the path of what you're speaking of. Answering the question, what I want to do, and as it relates to financial wellness, it's different to everyone because, and then the same thing as a diet, right? Everybody has a target weight that they want to lose. Everybody wants to diet, and everybody wants to have a financial wellness, but achieve a financial goal, become financial independent. So the cool thing about what I do is basically, helping people put puzzles together. That's how I look at my job. What are the things what do you want to do? And then that's how you have to start. Some folks start investing right away, investing just to invest, and investments tend to be the medicine. And if I can translate to kind of a workout is, should you be doing 10 reps or 20 reps or something? You know what I mean? So how is that going to impact your target goal? So that's kind of where we come in. So financial wellness you start with the person and trying to define that and help them, kind of what I call it is, helping take a holistic approach of their situation, because everything, money touches everything.
So you
And
have to start at an early age. I mean, does it really matter?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the most, it's this is to my in my opinion, this thing should be taught at school. Really,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it
which doesn't
really,
happen.
it doesn't happen, and you learn like later in life, and sometimes it's too late for you to the cost. I wish I had a chart to show you, but every time you wait to save towards a goal, every day you save is going to cost you more to get to that goal. So money, when it relates to making money grow, is like the tree. It takes time to grow. You can expect to, unless it's a bamboo tree that grows very fast. But think of it, this is more like a more traditional tree. It takes a while. So, and those that can grow very fast, they happen. But it's unique situations. You have to. It's a process. It has to be thought through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And when you said that this thing should be taught on the school, you're completely right. I mean, I think I struggle now is when I'm realizing, for example, like I just said, how emotional I have been with my decisions when it comes at money. I mean, whatever reasons, they're not, I mean, they were reasons, they're justifications, whatever I want to call them. But if I look at them from let's put it this way, from the practical financial lens,
Mm-hmm.
they were really emotional decisions
Yep.
that, like you said, put me in a position where I every day cost me more to get to my goal, to where I
Right.
really want to be.
So just kind of relating to financial, the wellness in general, right? So most people in general, they eat well 80% of the time, you know, but about 15% of the time they're going to have that ice cream, the carbs, or either 5% of the time they're going to have something really bad. And those 20% that they do bad things, that's the one that hurts them the most. That's the same thing with money and planning. Most people have a general sense of what to do. You start saving, you have to save, you have to open an account, you have to manage your debt. So they have 80% there, but the 20% that they don't do, that's the one that hurts them. And most people make good financial decisions. But again, my job is to kind of minimize. I can't really avoid bad decisions. It's impossible. Okay. But working with an advisor, you're going to minimize the amount of bad decisions you make and then kind of go from there. So you go down to maybe 5%, and then that 5% is tolerable. It's not going to put you out. And that's kind of what it comes in. Same way work with a coach to lose weight, right? You can,
Yeah, yeah, with a training, with a holistic healer,
yep,
with your
you can try to do
therapist.
it on your own. You might
Yeah,
do it, but if
yeah.
you have with somebody that knows, what the exercise, what the diet is, your likelihood to succeed is exponential. So this is kind of where we come in.
Let me ask you this. Would you say that the financial wellness concept is related to having a cushion?
Well, so there's a foundation of any plan, right? So any cushion, any financial cushion.
Yes.
Yeah. So assuming that you don't have any debt, which like outside from a mortgage or anything like that, and if you do, there's ways to address that. But assuming that you don't have any debt, there's specific things that are basic that make up a foundation of a financial plan. And that's not for me. This is from the Certified Financial Planning Board. We follow their process. I've been a CFP for 13 plus years, and in financial services for like probably quarter of a century. So these are processes that are tested and true and worked in just about every people's background, age, and whatnot. So it works. So you gotta, but I don't. At the same time, I don't like to use rules of thumb because everybody's different. But
Yeah.
things you can think of, having, if you're single, 6 months of cash reserve for emergencies and opportunities. If you're married, or in a relationship, or have two incomes, um, 3 months will be sufficient to cover, your essentials. But now you get it into something more specific. You got to talk about the B word. People get scared of that word. The B word is budget. it's Most people they don't do budgets. The money comes in, it goes out. And
I know.
so if you don't know where it's going, you can't handle it. It's very simple. You know what I mean? You have no understanding what's happening with your money. So how can you make it work it better for you? So sometimes you just got to go there. We don't necessarily have to know how much you spent on toilet paper, but you you have to basically have a good sense of where your money is going. To me, is I mean, personal. This is not even the firm's belief. That's my belief. If you set up a goal for yourself, and it is determined that you need to save this amount of money towards that goal, and you are doing that. So long as you're reaching and saving towards your goal, who cares? Go out and take that vacation. You know what I mean? Live your life because you're on track to your goals, but not understanding how much it takes for you to get where you want to be and kind of going, through life without focusing on what you really want. I mean, thinking that you are focusing, but you're not really because you're not putting money towards it. Am I confusing or making sense?
No, they're making a lot of sense. I mean, it's like, yeah, I want to get to the water, but you keep going to the opposite way.
That's right. So I'm very, enjoy life. I mean, I've privileged to work with a lot of families from all economical backgrounds and ages, and the more money that the firm manages, the more money I touch, actually the less important it becomes because to me, I'm speaking of me now, because it's about the time that you have and how you're going to spend it. I have clients who basically did nothing in their lives other than save for retirement. And two of them passed away. One passed away 1 month after retired. One was 6 months after retired.
Oh my goodness.
So what happened to your life? So you got to balance both. It's very important. Yeah.
Creating that balance. Yeah, it's you said something very, very useful, I believe. It's like it doesn't matter. The goal is to put money, to put the effort towards what you want, and you can still have a balance to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
From a business perspective point, like if you're talking about personally, but from a business perspective, I mean, the business, is handled and you have certain activities that requires working capital.
Yep.
So sometimes you need, you have not only the utilities that you have in your business, but you also have the marketing investment, and you also have your employee payments, and you also have, I don't know,
A lot.
let's say you put,
Taxes,
yeah,
employees,
yeah, taxes
marketing. Yeah.
and legal fees that are not even related to marketing, all these kind of things. Let's say you have the opportunity to say, okay, so I made this time of profit this year. Uh, so you as an advisor, what would you do? Would you just put it as a working capital again? Would you look for investments outside? Would you save it? I mean, I know I'm giving you a very vague scenario
Yeah.
because you don't have all the numbers in front
I
of
hate to
you.
give you the legal answer. Is it depends. It really depends because it depends on the business and what you do and whatnot. So being a business owner in this country it's amazing because you have so many tax advantages and things that you can do. What I've noticed, we do as a firm. Um, Probably 200 to 300 business returns, and we've been working with business for quite some time. And what I've experienced is that I've seen the business owner work so hard for the business, but there's not a system to make the business work hard for the business owner, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah, I totally get it.
you
Totally
know
get
what I mean? So there's so many tools that the IRS gives you. It's in terms of saving, reducing your taxes, deferring money, and I don't see it used. So I'm sort of not answering your question, but it kind of is really specific. So the thing is, you have to take advantage of those tools in a different cases, and sure, it could be more marketing and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Like specifically now, we've been helping a lot of clients with these loans that are available, the PPP loans, the IDLs, and whatnot, and trying to figure out if it makes sense for them. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them don't know how to apply. So I guess my point is, it's a matter of kind of talking through it and sitting it down. Unfortunately, it's not like a general rule like having a reserve. But love businesses and business owners because we got passion.
I know.
Yep.
I know. I've seen in my career a lot of startups that start with, with this passion and this just drive on doing things. And the reality is that in 6 to 9 months, that passion runs out.
Well, yeah. So good point. So a couple things. If I were to sitting down with a person that's building a business, there's tremendous effort in putting a business together, and you truly have to identify number one why you even go into business for. And I see, we have a service called Small Business Execs, which touches every part of a business from accounting to HR to everything else. So some things you have to let go because otherwise you're not gonna actually be doing what you set out to do. Because there's so many components to running a business that people don't understand. They need to know that. The second biggest thing that I see is there's no effort or thought about a succession planning, an exit strategy. You know what I mean? So you spend a whole time building the business, but how am I going to get out of here? You know,
Yeah.
so and this is happening right now within COVID. Folks are like looking around and their businesses, everybody's business is suffering. But what is my exit strategy? Because if you don't have one is going to be given to you. What I mean by that is it could be a catastrophe like the one we have. It could be a death situation. It could be a disability situation. It could be a legal situation. So you got to be prepared for that. And if you're solo is one thing, if you have a business partner is another one, and so on and so forth. So you got to think about, also how you exit because it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be part of the next question. I mean, now, like you said, COVID has generated a great amount of hurt
Yes.
in the economy, and it's not only here in United States. We're talking worldwide.
Yes.
So when you say, that exit strategy, I mean, does it mean that me looking at the business right now, saying like, okay, so it's not going to work anymore, or it's going to work? How is going to work? Where exactly this financial standpoint comes in? Like, what are those? If you can be general, because I know you do it business by case, but what are those things that a business owner at this point can look at and
Right.
say, okay, is it worth it to keep going, or is it worth it to change it, or how do I get out of this?
Yeah, so you got to have, for you to have any, if you ask me about a health of any business, the first thing I'm going to ask is for a financial statement, a profit P&L and a balance sheet. So at the risk of being basic, if you don't have control over those things, what your profit and loss is, what your P&L is, then we have even to step back. Because then you got to look at things like what's called burn rate, how much cash you're burning and how quickly you're going to be getting out and what your obligations are, and those things could be extrapolated from a balance sheet and an income statement very quickly. So that's why it's important to have a handle on that. And obviously I'm answering generically, but we can quickly say, you may think, oh, so that's kind of financial piece. The more broad and business planning piece is what can you be doing differently in this time, right? So as an example, our office, aside from a one employee that needs to be at the office from a regulatory standpoint and from a mailing, checking, processing, paperwork standpoint, everybody's remote, and they happen very quickly. And this has been recorded, but I'm going to say we're working better separate than we are together. so, they're probably going to hear from my staff on that, but that's besides the point. So, and we do have, there's something that we're required by law to have what's called a BCP, Business Continuation Plan, and we
Mm-hmm.
activated that plan. So, and those are the things that, unrelated to COVID, we just need to have it, and we activate it. So, but nobody could actually have planned for what happened. That's for sure. But that's what I'm trying to say is, same thing on a personal level, from a business level. You as a person, you need to know what your X rate is. An X rate financial is everything, taxes, what comes in, what goes out, expenses, and all that. and you need to have that X-ray available to you all the time. So we have free tools that folks, if they ever want to engage in kind of getting all their stuff together, they can go to our website and they can sign up. They don't have to hire us for anything. They can track their finances there. So understanding that seeing that X-ray is the first step, and having that X-ray, we can hold it up to the light and see what's broken or what needs to be addressed. That's kind of the idea there. So long way to answer a question, but I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it can be I'm sure, at least for me, every time that I'm going to talk about finances, my hands get sweaty. It's like
No, that's good.
going, going to the doctor knowing that you're going to have a diagnosis and you have to actually like breathe through it and swallow it. Um, so what you're putting out there makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's a conversation that not all of us, and I will include myself into that bucket, are very comfortable to have.
I
We
understand.
want to have those conversations where we say, yes, I made the sale, and I made the deal, and the business is going to have this cash flow, but it's like a very what should I say? It's like a future proposal that is coming that you don't
Money's
really
not in
have
yet.
right now.
Yep. No,
And
and quite frankly, just to give you an idea, we have an unprecedented amounts of people asking to speak to us that were kind of on the fence before, which is great, but it's absolutely counterintuitive. We're in the middle of a crisis. You know what I mean? So the same way you just go to the doctor when you're really feeling pain, you need to go to the doctor for your annual checkups. So this is, and I understand why people avoid us because we ask hard questions. A financial advisor, I mean, we're a planner, so and the whole thing about financial advisors is definition is very widely um, very widely described in the industry. But we're planners, so before you even talk about investments, you're going to ask a lot of things from a personal level, from goals and things like that. So it's not easy for people to open up and talk about their financial pains, if you would.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes there's, and that's what I was alluding to earlier. It goes back to your upbringing, how your experience with money. I ask clients, "What's your first experience with money?" That tells me, as a kid, what's your first experience? That tells me a lot about how they feel about money. Because because I need to start to be effective. I need to understand how they think financially to give right advice, so it's more customized. But so that's kind of the thing there. And then you're right, people procrastinate. It's fine. We're all human beings. We're all
yeah.
human beings, and that's okay. I procrastinate too in a bunch of things, by the way. No,
Listen, it's kind of a
so
delicate conversation. I would say that the feeling when you say like it's a tough conversation, the feeling that comes to me when I think about it is like, oh my God, I'll have to tell him about that. I'll have to tell him about this. And immediately my stomach gets a bunch of butterflies, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. Like, what is he gonna think about me? What is he gonna tell me? Were you stupid or something? They're not.
there's very little you can tell me that it's scary. It's very little, and it's the stuff is, it is what it is. But the thing is, if you continue to ignore it, whatever the situation may be, is just snowball. It's no, it gets worse. It just gets getting worse and things like that. So, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a plan, even for myself, because
Hmm.
I'm right now I'm learning tremendously, and I'm like actually just thinking, I have to get to the doctor. I mean, I have to sit down.
Sorry.
I have to get to the doctor and sit down and be realistic about this birth truth and everything else, because in definitely it's something that we all need. And that leads to the next question, which was actually you kind of answer it. It's like, now we COVID passed. We already know what happened. So moving forward, besides having that exit plan related to whatever other catastrophe or whatever other event can happen, what it will be like an advice? I mean, we're reopening. Let's put it this way: you're in New Jersey, I'm in New York, and around the world already plans to open. All the businesses are going on. Some
Yeah.
of them are opening as early as next week. Others are opening in the middle of June. Others are opening like the end
Mhm.
of July. So I've been telling people from the marketing standpoint, check what you've been doing, and from now, tweak it. Be more truthful, be more transparent on
Yeah,
what you're saying to people so you generate more confidence.
absolutely.
And in all industries, we need this in all industries, because what we need to step out of that door as a client, from my perspective, is confidence.
Hmm.
Is the confidence that you're not only keeping me safe, but you're keeping safe your clients, you're keeping safe your environment, you're making everything so I can feel safe. And feeling safe is not only not contracted COVID, it's all the things that we said about your mind, your state of mind, and everything.
Right.
So from a financial standpoint, being you're a financial advisor, almost a psychologist, financial advisor,
Yeah, it's sort of a counselor. People call me sometimes.
counselor, therapist, holistic
Yep,
financial healer. I'm
yep.
gonna have so many new
Hey, you,
words for
whatever.
you.
Fine.
So many words for you. So from this standpoint, what is it exactly that you guys are doing to assure your customers that let's build this new safe environment?
Well, so it's a difficult time to plan. Let's not call it. Let's call it what it is. But I think I go back to what I was trained to do, which is basically there's one word that you said there that is very troublesome when you are planning: fear. And the fear now is real and will continue to be real because it's uncharted territory. It truly is, and it's different to anybody. So you have to put pen and paper and really go back to understanding your reality. So what I'm doing with clients right now, some clients' accounts are down because everybody is down. But I guess the question just specifically to what I do, I think what you asked is, it's one thing to say if you have investments and they're down 10%, okay, or 15 or 20, whatever it may be. What does that mean? Well, they're down 10, 15, 20%. But what's the investment for? Is it for your retirement? Is it for your kids' college? Is it for to buy a house in DR? It's it.
Yeah, right.
Where is it? What is it for? And how that change affect your ability to reach your goals. So when you invest without a plan, you're going to get whatever you see on the screen when you log into your account. It's an up or down investment. When you do a plan, you will see, okay, it's down 10%, but I'm on track to reach my goals. So, just to give you an example, we're most of our clients are retired. So, and I've gone through 8 to 10 of these in different flavors, crisis. We have created contingencies for all these things, with an understanding that every 7 to 10 years there's a crisis. So there needs to be contingencies for downturns. It's just this one is just unprecedented. So getting back to kind of what you're saying is, you have to go back to the numbers and really kind of from understanding the numbers, find out what's possible. And you have to take the fear. We take the fear out of it because we're coming in, we're not, unbiased opinion and just kind of looking at somebody's situation and then so on. It's like, hey, listen, you shouldn't be, if you do this, and it's actually at the end of the day, it's not also our job to do to to make decisions for you, is to basically say, listen, if you take this path, this is the potential outcome. If you take that path, this is the potential outcome. Do you understand the outcomes? And what do you want to do? But also, and more importantly, um, is because the situation is so fluid, you have to be humble enough to kind of go back and revisit everything more constantly, because as often as possible. That's what we're doing now, revising every plan and making sure things changing weekly here, or daily. So you have to be very, very malleable to change and adapting to it. So, but it is what it is, and we'll get through it. And this is basically one more challenge, and that we, as a country, as a citizen of the world, will be in history times. But this too shall pass. And a lot of times, We get caught up in the moment, right? So we can only see what's in front of us. But if if you have a plan, you gotta look ahead, whatever the ahead is, and that's sort of the concept there. You have if you have a plan put in place, you have a little bit of a longer term vision as opposed to reacting to everything,
Hmm.
because otherwise you're just reacting.
Yes.
And that's a plan on itself, which probably is going to have you. If you're just reactionary to everything, that's your plan, and you're probably going to end up someplace that you don't want to be. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
I'm very
makes a lot.
passionate about planning.
It makes tremendous amount of sense. I know that you're short on time, and I
Yep.
really appreciate that you took a moment to talk to us of this topic that brought a lot of butterflies to my stomach, and I'm sure that it will bring a lot of butterflies to people when they hear this. This thing. Um, I'm all for planning. I'm a planner myself. I don't necessarily plan for my finances. I'm really being really honest with you. It's just realizing, I'm just realizing myself getting to this state of awareness where I do really need to start doing something different. And I hope that everyone, after hearing our conversation, gets to that point too. Either
Yep.
they do it on their own, or I will send out an email with your information, with the information of your firm, so everyone can go into your website and contact you guys and even start utilizing those useful free tools, because everybody needs it. Just to give it a chance, just to give it a moment. I do think that COVID has provided, one of the positive things that COVID has provided is time.
Yep.
Time in our hands to really take a look at our lives in all general statements, like our health, our financial wellness and health, our family, our jobs, if we really want to keep doing what we were doing, or if we want to do a change, if
Sure.
it's really a good thing to do that change. So there are many things right now that we can actually take advantage of due to this situation, and planning our financial wellness, I believe, is one of them. One of the most things that I think I'm taking away from this conversation is that exit plan. It's something that I think I didn't even thought about it. And so I'm one of those entrepreneurs and startups that, got into this passion. It's going to be a year next week where Punta Cana Wellness started. Um, thank God we had a good run, and we're having a good run, and we had a good run on people and social media. We were supposed to be doing one major conference in the middle of May, and thanks to
Oh,
COVID, I was like,
oh,
it's not happening.
too
but
bad.
but one of the things that we're doing is planning ahead to have it next year. So I'm like, how I'm going to do this next year is, and now I'm thinking I'm going to call Marco in another thing that is not going to be a webinar, so we can put this thing together.
That's
I can
fine.
put this thing together in a better way,
Yep.
and have that contingency plan ahead, which I didn't have.
Okay.
To be really honest, I didn't have.
It happens. It also like that's the thing. Also, what you're saying there is don't feel bad about it. There's and that's kind of human nature too. Don't What happened happens. You can't really undo it. You can just look forward. So and then build a better path then. And sometimes, myself included, we get caught up. You know what I mean? That's why we need somebody else to kind of, hey, wait a minute, stop doing that. Do this. You
And I
know?
truly appreciate that. I
Yep.
do. I am a firm believer that you need to thrive to raise a child. And, we are all children. So
That's
we need each other to be able to support each other and to grow. So,
absolutely
Marco, thank you so much for such an
my pleasure.
insightful conversation. This is going to be live in our YouTube channel. It's going to be live in our blog page. And I'll be sending an email with the clicks to the replay. And Marco's information. So anyone wants to reach out to them and have some more insightful conversations about your financial health and wellness, I'm sure MRA advisors will be a great choice for you. Thank you so much, Marco. Have a great weekend,
Sure.
everyone. Thank you for your attention, and we'll talk soon. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.